Hi and welcome to Polly Puts Colour On. In this video I'm going to be sharing with you all of my completed pages for the month of July 2025. As you can see, there is rather a lot. There's a bit of a slow start to the month, and then as seems to keep happening last kind of week or so, everything just kind of came together. A few whips I had got finished, and then obviously finally broke up for the summer holiday. So then I've had a week where I've had a little bit more time, so that's also kind of helped. And I've got a few buddy colours as well, so I will start with those ones first. Obviously, if you're enjoying the content and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Obviously click like as well. Obviously really does help with pushing my videos out to more people. Really does help the channel. So like I said, I will start with some of my buddy colours first. All the books that I can, I will link down in the description below. And quite a few of them have also got flip throughs on the channel as well if you're interested. The links in the description will be affiliate links. It won't cost you anything extra to purchase that way, but it does help to support the channel a little bit. So the first book we've got here is Cozy Seasons by Usuku. So the first one I did was just this really quick one, just using up my cheap alcohol markers. That some of them are starting to dry up, so I'm just trying to make use of them before they're all kind of no use anymore. So as you see, it didn't do any shading, just a nice quick one just to say that page is coloured. And then we come to the buddy colour in this book. So this was a buddy with Yolanda at Colouring Biker Mama. Absolutely love how hers came out. She added so much extra detail and depth to it. Our pictures turn out so differently. Like I just went for quite quick, tiny little bit of detail, but not really much at all. She obviously spent a lot longer on it, and it really shows. Really enjoy doing a buddy colour with Yolanda, so hopefully we'll do that again in the future. So I used my all alcohol markers pretty much. Used my own Ohuhu ones. Little bit of gel pen here and there just to cover up a little bit of the black lines, but not massively. Little bit of gel pen added to the grass there, although it doesn't show that well on the camera. White gel pen detail, and then I just used some cheap metallic paints. I think I got off Temu Sheen, one of those kind of cheap sites. Just add a little bit to the sky, and then went over the black lines a little bit with a blue gel pen. It's not completely covered up the back lines, but it did what I wanted in that it kind of softened the finish a little bit. So this page was a lot of fun. There are so many really cool pictures. The only thing is, until the eyes are coloured, it does look a little bit creepy. I think that's the only thing when you compare this kind of cute and cozy style book to other cute and cozy ones. They've normally always got like the eyes coloured, or at least like a dot in the middle on their eye, so it doesn't look quite as creepy. So they do look a little bit creepy, but as soon as you add the black in, it really does make a difference. Because like the little, obviously the lion has got their eyes shut, but the duck did look a little bit creepy until I coloured their eye in. But then once you've done that, the pages just look adorable. So like I say, there is a flip through of that one on my channel, because I know this is one that you don't see quite as often. I saw this to start with actually on Yolanda's channel, which is why I got in touch with her about a buddy colour. So really glad to have that in my collection and have some pages finished in it. So then we come to another one of my buddy colours. This is with somebody off Instagram who got in touch with me after they saw my completed pages video from Johanna Basford. And we kind of picked out a page together, and we went for this one. I must admit, this is not a page that I would necessarily have ever coloured if it wasn't for the fact that it was a buddy colour. So I'm actually really glad that somebody got in touch to ask if I'd do it, because once I got into it, actually I did really quite enjoy it. You might be able to, I don't know whether it'll pick up on the camera a little bit. I used an awful lot of gel pen on here, and the glitter from it is already transferring over onto the wax paper, which is a good reason why I put it there. So I just use water-based markers and then gel pens, and that's it. And this paper's pretty good. Hasn't gone through at all, even though, like I say, I used all this, the greens, and most of the flowers are gel pen. but you see all the black water-based markers, sorry, and then the black is all gel pen along with some of the other details as well. So it did take a little while, but once I kind of picked out what colours were where, actually then it was relatively straightforward because obviously there was a lot of repetition. So my Buddies page turned out really, really differently. I'll link their Instagram down below. They're the colour in orange. Their page really pretty. They went for a lot. Mine's kind of not necessarily autumnal, but I think with having the black on it, it kind of makes it look a little bit darker. Whereas they went for a background where the flowers kind of pop, but pop in a different way. I really like the different colours that they used. And it's been quite a while since I've coloured in Secret Garden, so it was nice to get back into that one. So like I say, I have got completed page videos for all of my Johanna Basford books actually on my channel. So if that's something of interest, then check that out. Then we come to another buddy colour that was with somebody on Instagram, Kim on Instagram. I'll link her Instagram as well in the description below. So I'd already done this one. So when we were choosing a page and we went for this toucan, I thought that's quite nice because then that means I've got a double page done. And I had been wanting to do this toucan for a while actually, so it worked out quite well. I did use my new acrylic paints in the background, so there is a video on the channel where I'm trying out my acrylic paints for the first time. It didn't turn out that smooth, so I have gone over with pencil. It doesn't look too bad now. It's definitely not quite as smooth as I'd like. I obviously need to practice a little bit more, but I do really love the colour. And then for the pencils, I use my new Black Edition pencils. They work really nicely actually on this paper. And then a little bit of glitter gel pen kind of around the edge of some of the leaves and around the edge of kind of the central design. A little bit of white gel pen. A little bit of black gel pen to make sure that the eyes are really nice and dark. Well, it kept quite simple kind of colour palette. Went a bit wild with the toucan, but I think he turned out really cute. It's a nice colourful summery kind of tropical page. And my Buddies page equally turned out beautiful. Obviously with the toucan, you know, you kind of in your head you might think, oh, I'm going to colour it a different way, but then you know you picture what a toucan looks like and it's kind of hard to steer away from that. But I think my buddy did such a great job. Very different finish to both of our pages, but that's the awesome thing about buddy colours, isn't it, that you're doing the same page, but then you're each doing your own take on it and they turn out so differently. So thank you for doing a buddy colour with me, Kim, and for getting in touch. So that's my completed page in Magical Jungle. And then I did yet another buddy colour in a Johanna Basford book, which is really nice because this is one that I haven't coloured in much at all. Obviously it's the newest one I've got from her, and it's gorgeous, but I kind of coloured in when I first got it and then I haven't really come back to it. So this one's my page and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I mainly use my Castle Art pastel tint pencils, which is why I managed to get quite a muted, subtle kind of colour palette, because they work really nicely together. You know, we still use quite a lot of different colours, but you know they're all it's a nice curated set, isn't it? And then some of the colours that I used down here are the colours that I used then up in the clouds. Added a little bit of watercolour, shiny watercolour paint on the bubbles, a little bit of acrylic marker, I mean you can still see the lines, but it's just softened those black lines just enough there for how I wanted it, so they were just a little bit more subtle. And then obviously just pencil shading all down here. Used a little bit of, well, I say glitter gel pens on the shell, the crab and the starfish, but they're not very glittery, so they look pretty. And that's why they kind of pop a little bit more than the pencil. And then it was just pencil all in the background as well. So this was a lot of fun to do, and it didn't take too long because obviously I kind of got a couple of colour combinations together, put them to one side, and then just kept repeating them throughout the page. So this one's mine, and then my buddy this time was with Kate from Kate's Colouring Haven. Her page is equally just kind of a bit subtle, but subtle in a different way, and it just looks amazing. And I was so pleased when she got in touch saying that she'd like to do a buddy colour, because I've been watching her channel for a while, and it's, you know, it's really nice that anybody's watching my videos, but kind of especially when it's somebody that you watch, for you to know that they've seen your channel and they're enjoying your content, it really is putting a smile on my face. So yeah, that was really great to do a buddy colour with yet another person, and it means now I think that's only like my second complete page, because I did that one when it first came out, done that one, and then I've just done kind of the title pages at the start, and that's it in that one. So I'm really pleased to get like another actual page done in that one. And then we come to my last buddy colour for July, but it's by no means my last page that I coloured. And it's kind of the first page that I've done in Kirby. I do have Animorphia, which I bought right at the very start of my colouring journey, like absolutely years ago. And you can see, I did enjoy colouring it. I used just my cheap pencils, some cheap gel pens. You see the shading is, it's non-existent, but I had fun doing it. And then obviously I've not coloured in that for years. I do need to get back to it really. And I've kind of just got a little bit intimidated now by Kirby's work. I think now I'm just a bit more aware of how nicely the pictures could turn out. It kind of put me off a bit. But I saw this on offer on Vinted, got it really nice and cheaply. So I thought, right, I need to get into it. And then Jess from Colouring Bumblebee got in touch, said that she would do a buddy colour with me. So I thought, great, that's a perfect way of getting me into this book and kind of forcing me to colour in this book. So I gave her a few suggestions and we settled on this one. So I use my Inktense pencils for everything. Did a tiny little bit of shading with Prisma, but not a huge amount, to be honest. Used some gel pen on the eyes. You might be able to see the shine. A little bit of white gel pen detail, and then just an acrylic marker background. Did debate doing black, and then I thought, oh, I think that's going to be a bit too dark. So I thought if I went for the dark blue, it looked like it was kind of evening. Sun's definitely going down. It's not like sunset or anything, and I just thought it made everything pop quite nicely. And then I used some glittery watercolor paints for the trail of the snails on the leaves. And Jess's page is absolutely gorgeous. Kind of the frogs are a little bit similar, although she's put kind of more colours into hers, but then the flowers and the leaves, it's just saying as it's the same picture. It always amazes me with buddy colours on how differently then they can turn out. And obviously because she did a different colour for the background as well, that just gives the page like a completely different feel as well. So I was really pleased to do a buddy colour with Jess to get me into this book. I need to put a little bit more of my sparkly glitter paints up there as well. I think these ones are from the Art Spirits one. I can't remember which one it is, but it's one of their glittery ones. Absolutely love them. They're great for adding details onto things. So yeah, really pleased to not only have this page done, but to have another page done as a buddy colour. And it's nice that now this is a touch book. It's not uncoloured anymore, so I don't need to feel guilty about having it on my shelf. So now we can work through all my other pages that I've got done that aren't buddy colours. They're just ones that I've just done. Some are on live streams, some not, but we'll talk about that as we get through. So I really just quickly, right at the end of the month, just decided to do this little title page, just alcohol markers, a little bit of white gel pen. That was it, because I just thought it'd be nice just to have the title page done. And then the actual page I've got done in this book was on a live stream. So I have made a note of the colours that I used for the fox and the dragon. So I did use the same colours there for the dragon. So that's why he kind of looks a bit familiar. So we literally just used alcohol markers, a little bit of white gel pen, and then I did use a gold glittery gel pen for the star, but also just went and added a tiny little bit of detail to the scarf with that gold gel pen as well. So a little bit of texture on the moss, the grass. I don't really know what it's meant to be, but it didn't really, worry too much about shading. In areas, I've just used the same pen, just waited till it's gone dry and then gone over with the same colour again, just to make some bits a little bit shaded, but not too much. For me, I've seen some amazing things that people do with their alcohol markers, and it looks absolutely stunning. But for me, I want to keep my cute and cozy books cute and cozy, nice and simple. Alcohol markers, simple bit of shading, simple bit of patterns, but I don't want to spend too long on them, because for me this is just having a bit of a break and just getting some colour onto the page and having a nice cute picture to finish. So it was a slightly different colour palette than what I'd normally do, but I had a look through the colour combination book that I had for my birthday and picked out kind of this nice bright vibrant one, which is why we've kind of got pink bits on the rocks, because I was trying to stick to the colour palette, and that's why the blues are kind of so bright. But actually I really like how it turned out. So yeah, that's on a live stream that's up on the channel if you wanted to see how I did that one. Sorry, I don't think I mentioned this is by Southern Lotus Fantasyland. Then we've got a Coco Wyo one, The Little Cat. Haven't got around to doing the first few pages in this one yet. I need to get onto that at some point. But the page that I did get done, again, this was on a live stream. Again, it was with my Ohuhu alcohol markers and some white gel pen. Borrowed some of the colours from the front, like similar colour for the sofa. And then just kind of picked some colours out and just tried to kind of map them out, keep them evenly across the page, which is why we've got these weird Shrek broccoli kind of slippers, because I thought I didn't want to do that bowl green, because I knew I wanted the grapes green and I wanted that dish to match that bowl, which meant kind of the slippers, if they were purple, I just thought it would have been a bit too much purple. But anyway, that was kind of my thinking behind why they ended up green. And then there was a bit of debate on my live stream over what that was. Was it a fridge? Was it a cupboard? What was it? Still not really quite sure, but that's why I kind of just went for a slightly muted colours to match the colours that I used on the laptop. So at least that kind of ties in together. And then just use similar colours for the cats. And then some of the colours I used on the cats, I used on that one in the centre. And then just a tiny little bit of gel pen on that paw print. So that one was a lot of fun to do. Absolutely love this book. It just kind of gives me like Garfield or Simon's Cat kind of vibes with the expression. It's the expressions that's on their faces, I think, that makes it for me. Like, they're just so funny, so cute. So I'm glad to get a page done in that one. Then we've got Leon's Journey. I still haven't got around to doing the title page or doing any more on the characters. I'm hoping to get to that later on in the year. But the page that I did get done, again, it's one that I've done on a live stream and then just kind of finished it off afterwards. So I used my Arteza watercolour pencils for most of it for basing. Then went in with some Prismacolors for a little bit of shading, and I've got my Prismacolor combination for Leon, which actually is on my Ko-fi store. It's free to download. So I've got kind of all the colours that I've used for him there written down. So then it was nice and simple just to do the same again. I used a colour palette from that Practical Colour Combinations book. I will link that book down below. It's really useful. It's not massive in terms of size wise, like that's my hand, but it is really chunky, and there's just so many gorgeous combinations. And the good thing is it's got kind of all the suggestions there, but then it gives you ideas where you could just do 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them. So then you can kind of take that palette and then kind of run with it and make it your own a little bit. So yeah, I did a bit of shading with Prismacolors over the top, not a massive amount, and then did a bit of a chalk pastel background. Annoyingly, I accidentally somehow got one of my pencils, did a big stripe down there. I erased it and erased it and erased it, but it just wouldn't come off. I think it was one of the brown ones. So yeah, it went around with chalk pastel. It's not too noticeable, but because I know it's there, my eye keeps getting drawn to it, which is the only bit I don't like about that page. I really love how it turned out, and it's definitely one of my favourite pages in the book, so I'm glad that I got it coloured. So it didn't take too long, considering how big the picture is, because with basing with watercolour pencils and then just adding a little bit of shading, it really did speed it up. And if I show you the back, it's absolutely fine. was quite careful with how much water I used, but even so, it's not gone too crinkly, it's not gone through. It's just amazing paper in these books. So then we've got a book from Millie Marotta's Precious Planet. So again, like I do so often, I took part in Amanda Colours Colour Palette Challenge. Again, I'll link her channel down below. So it's 5 colours, but actually this month one of the colours was white. So I only actually had 4 pencils really to use to colour the bird. And then I thought if I leave the background white, that kind of counts for the white, and then picked a washi colour that I thought matched as closely as I could, because I didn't fancy doing chalk pastel. Just wanted something nice and quick and to keep that whiteness of the page just so that he really pops. And I love the colours. I think they work really nicely together. And it's not a picture that I necessarily would have gone for, but because there wasn't many colours, I thought, right, I basically picked one of the simplest pictures out of the book. That's kind of how I settled on this one. And because I've added all of my books and how many pages I've got coloured into an app called Bookshelf app. Jess at Colouring Bumblebee's got a brilliant video, like talking you through everything. It has been a little bit of an investment in time, but I'm really glad I've done it, because now I can have a look and see actually what percentage I've got done in certain books. So that was another way that it helped me to decide to colour in this book, because this is the one that I've coloured in the least out of Millie's books. So that's why I kind of thought, right, I'll pick this one out. I've coloured in it the least. And then, like I say, I basically just picked the simplest picture. I do really want to do this one at some point, because I love otters and I just love their cute little faces. They just look adorable. So at some point, I definitely need to get colouring that page. So that was from Millie Marotta's Precious Planet. Then we've got a Colouring Book Cafe one, Cozy Escapes. I started this page, it's probably a couple of months ago now, and I did these 2 little sections and did shorts on them, and then I've just sat one day and just coloured all the rest of it just with my cheap alcohol markers. Just trying to get them used up before they get too dry, because I have had those ones for a while now. And I have recorded all of those and made them into shorts, which will be up on the channel over the next kind of week or so. So if you want me to see how they come together, you can check that out. Just kept it really nice and simple, literally just alcohol marker, a little bit of white gel pen, and that was it. So I'd had it as a whip for quite a while, and I thought I want to get it finished, so that then I feel like I can get to one of the other images out of the book, because there's some really adorable ones. And as much as I don't mind having a couple of whips on the go in a few different books, I don't like having whips on the go in the same book, if that makes sense. So I knew I wouldn't start another page till I got this one finished. So I thought, right, got a bit of time, let's just crack on and get it finished, basically. But it was fun still to do it. I did have to have a flip through the book though, and try and work out, because sometimes it's really hard to work out what is there. And then I realised that little bear is on the front cover, so all that bit is the boat. So that's why I just went for just that plain kind of neutral colour for it, without spotting that this bit is off the front cover. I wouldn't have had a clue what it was or how maybe to colour it. So if you do have this book, that's something kind of good to know, that you can have a flip through the book, find the page where this little section is from, and then that might help you to work out what's maybe going on in the background. Or obviously you can just do your own thing. That's what I did on some of them. So yeah, that was from Colouring Book Cafe, Cozy Escapes. Then we've got Cozy Cuties by Coco Wyo. So I have made a note of the colour of all of the little characters that I've done so far. I've been using my Honolulu Hoo markers. So picked quite a muted colour palette here for this title page. I'm really pleased with how it came out, actually. Again, just alcohol markers, bit of white gel pen. Just wanted to try and get these first few pages done. Keep it nice and simple, but I do like the colours that I went for there. What I did think was quite clever is these flowers on the corners. I didn't realise when I coloured it. I just coloured that, turned over, knew there'd obviously be that bit in the middle, but then the flowers perfectly match up, which I thought was really clever. So I did go on and just add another coat of pen on this side, just because although it had come through, obviously it comes through a bit patchy, doesn't it? So I did even that up and just add a bit of white gel pen. Can't do anything about that bit, but at least, you know, the flowers, I thought that was a neat little touch. Then we've got this title page, again, kind of kept it quite neutral, kind of muted colours, and then used some of the brighter colours that I'd used down there for the letters. Again, a bit of white gel pen, and that's it. And then the page that I've done was this one. So this is a buddy colour with my daughter, although she hasn't quite finished her page yet. So like I say, I have written down the colours that I've used for all of those characters in the front, so that then when I come to colour other pages in this book, I can just have a look and think, right, I'm going to colour them that way. More so that it saves me time, to be honest, rather than, you know, having to and ah over what colours to do them. I've already got that colour palette sorted, and then just, you know, had a go picking some colours for the other things. Still not quite sure what that was. Asked my daughter and she was like, I don't really know. It looks a bit like a jar, but not. But then it kind of looks like a sweet, but then it doesn't. So I wasn't really sure. So I just used some of the colours I'd used elsewhere to colour that, and then just a really pale colour just to add a little bit of a background. So I'm really pleased to have the first few pages done in this book. So now next time I can have a look and just pick out one of the other ones. This is the version that's printed on the slightly thicker paper, because this is the Penguin one, which I must admit, it's quite thirsty, this paper. I can imagine if you're going to use pencils, this will probably work a lot better, I imagine, than the normal Amazon print. But I don't think I would necessarily rush to get the Penguin version again. Although, to be fair, this one was on offer on Amazon, so it wasn't, you know, I think it was only £4. So actually it was cheaper than the Amazon version, which, you know, isn't a bad thing. But something to note if you're wondering about whether to get the normal standard Amazon print one or whether to go for the Cocoa Wire one, it is thirsty paper, which kind of surprised me when I started putting my marker on. I was like, oh, definitely behaves differently than my other books. So then we've got Fuzzy Meowies 2. Fuzzy Meowies 3 has literally just come out like this last week. I have got a flip through of that up on my channel. There's some really cool pictures. They've gone very heavy for TV shows this time. And when I was looking through, I was like, no idea. I had to look at the contents page to work out what a lot of the pages were. Well, they've done really big TV shows, but somehow they're all ones that I don't seem to have watched. But I am going to keep it because I really do love the artwork. Like, there's some really, here it is, Fuzzy Meowies 3. There's some really cool ones, like they've got the Barbie one, it's got a Wednesday one, but then there's loads that I looked and I was like, like that. I hadn't got a clue. I've seen it coloured out and it looks amazing. And there's quite a few others as well, like that. Obviously, that's Strange Things. So there was a lot that I looked and was like, it looks cool, but I don't know what it is. So I think I'll be able to do my own thing a bit more in Fuzzy Meowies 3, because I'm not going to be thinking, oh, it should be this colour because it's this colour in the show, because I haven't seen most of them. So back to Fuzzy Meowies 2. Just did the content, the book belongs to you page. Again, just use my cheap alcohol markers that I'm just trying to get used up. Annoyingly, I think it was when I used this grey one, or it might have been the dark one, I took the lid off over the page, and you can probably see it's added some little freckles onto the little cat, but at least it was on his face, so it just kind of looked as if he's got freckles. So it wasn't intentional. I'm just going to have to be really careful when I open these markers again, trying to open them over a piece of paper, although they don't do it very often. I think this is about the first time it's happened, but still a little bit annoying. So yeah, that was just a really quick one, just so that I'd got that page coloured. And then the actual kind of main page I've got coloured is this one here. So again, this one was done on a live stream. Again, my Ohuhu alcohol markers. again, only did very simple little bit of shading where I let it dry and then went back in with the same pen, just to add a little bit of white gel pen. Really love the trees. That was a suggestion by somebody on the live stream, because I was like, I don't know, like, what do I do with the trees? Do I do them green? But then that's a lot of green. And they suggested to do like pinky purple, and I'm actually really pleased with how it turned out. That was a brilliant suggestion. So then just added a tiny bit of pink and a bit of white gel pen to the edge of the clouds. And I realised afterwards that I hadn't coloured the eye. Like, signed off the live stream, thought, yeah, it's great. Jess from Colouring Bumblebee actually coloured the page. I think she did it while she was watching my live stream, so she sent me a picture of hers. I looked and then looked at mine and went, oh, forgotten to do the eye. So I did colour that bit in afterwards, because once I'd realised that I'd missed that bit, I was like, have I not coloured the eye? I need to do that bit. So that bit was done after the fact. It's funny sometimes, like, you would think that would have been glaringly obvious. It's in the middle of the page, it's not that small. Yeah, just didn't see it when I was on live stream. So yeah, really pleased to have that one done. Obviously, that's the How to Train Your Dragon page. Haven't seen any of the films, to be honest, but I do think it's toothless, isn't it, that dragon? I think I do think it's just absolutely adorable. Dragons are just so cool, aren't they? So yeah, really pleased to have a page done in that one. Still quite a few more to go. And then we've got a page out of Fairy Tales by Emily Lyderhall Oberg. I do try and join in each month as much as I can. With there's two different Instagram groups, one for the newer fairy tales and folklore book that she's got, and then there's another Instagram that picks pages out of fairy tales, so they kind of alternate, so that one month it's a page out of this, and then in the next month there'll be a page out of the other book. So for this month the page was this one. So I did most of this on a live stream, and then at some point you'll be able to see on my channel the video where I finish it off, because people said they'd kind of like to see me finishing it, so I have recorded that. It's just little clips here and there, talking you through how I've picked the colours and how I've done the different bits I did. But basically I used Inktense for everything apart from the skin. The skin I did with one of my Swiss Colour Caran d'Ache watercolour pencils. I've used it before as well for skin tones in a page, and I'm really pleased. It actually gives like a really gentle skin colour, because I'm a bit scared of doing portraits. I'm always a bit worried about making them look a bit ill, or it just going too light, too dark, too just not looking quite right. Like, I think with flowers and animals, doesn't matter if you don't colour them realistic, they'll still look cute. But I think with a person, if you get it a little bit wrong, I just always feel like they're just going to look a bit weird, aren't they? So yeah, I kept that quite simple. So Inktense base, went in with a little bit of shading here and there. Didn't do any shading on the flowers though. It's basically just the lady. Bit of shading on her hair, her skin and her dress. Bit of white gel pen, a bit of acrylic marker, detail to colour in some of the sections, and then I used kind of a deepish grey colour marker for the background sections, and then used a Sakura glaze pen for her kind of lipstick, her lip gloss, and the jewels and the crown, and then a Pentel Uniball, no, it's not Pentel, is it? Uniball Signo gold gel pen there. Did debate using my watercolours, but then I thought they would get rid of the black lines, and then I'd probably need to draw them back in, and I thought I can't be bothered, so that's why I went for the gel pen there, and I made a earring match, so that kind of tied in together. So I'm really pleased with that. Again, I used a colour combination out of this book, which really helped me with kind of making it nice and bright but still kind of turning out quite cohesive. So I'm really pleased to have another page done in this one. Then we've got a page out of Stitch, Wave Your Worries Away. It's actually the first page I've done in this one. I bought this book, I think it was in May. I just haven't got to it yet. So I'm really pleased to finally get a page done in this. Did do this one as a short on the channel if you wanted to take a look. So it's just my Ohuhu alcohol markers. It isn't single-sided, but I kind of, you probably can't really see what the design is on the back, but I knew that this was a page I wasn't bothered about colouring, so I thought I don't mind sacrificing it. So yeah, Ohuhu's here, and then I used one of my B&M alcohol markers, kind of, I think it may have even have been this colour, to do all the stripes in the background, because I thought it was quite a lot to colour. So I didn't want to use up my Ohuhus on such a big section. I wanted to use, kind of one of my cheaper pens, a little bit of white gel pen, and that's it. Kept it really nice and simple, and I really like it. It really makes me smile, that one. So that's out of Stitch Wave Your Worries Away. Then we've got a page from Creepy Cutie by Coco Wyo. Now this one, as you can probably see, is quite a bit larger than kind of the standard Cute and Cozy size books. This is more kind of A4, which is a little bit different. So the page I did was this one. So I did use my cheap alcohol markers. They're just these ones. I think I got them from TikTok Shop or something originally, when I wasn't sure if I'd really get into using alcohol markers. So I used them. As you can see, it didn't really do a lot of shading, tiny bit of a pattern at the bottom of the grass, but not a lot. Unfortunately, the colour that I picked for the sky started running out, so I did the best I could, but obviously it's ended up a bit stripy. So I did go over it with a little bit of chalk pastel in a dark colour, which kind of helped, but you can still see it's there. But at least I've kept the strokes going all the same way, so although it is a little bit patchy, it's not too bad, and it's a page done, and I know the reason why it looks like that is because my marker was running out. And then I used some of my cheap kind of Temu Sheen watercolor paints for the clouds, and then I used one of my sample ones that I've got up here, so from Archie's Paints on Etsy. I've got like this little cosmetics case, and it's got loads of different little samples. I have no idea where the one is that I used. So you can buy like bundles. So the last time I did it, I bought this one, and it's got, as you can see, comes with quite a lot in there. And although they're not like a massive amount of paint, there is more than you would think. Like I've used a lot of them quite a bit, and I haven't run out of any of the colours yet. So I do like using those where I know I'm only doing a little bit here or there, because I know then I'm going to have plenty of paint, and then it saves kind of my larger palettes for when I know I'm doing a particular like large area, or if I'm doing something where I know I might want the same colour again. Obviously then I know that I can rebuy that one, because some of these ones are discontinued, but I think that turned out really nice and shiny on the moon. It's not the best paper for watercolor, but it did the job. I was just careful to let it dry before I shut the book, but I'm really pleased with how that one turned out. That was a really fun one to do. Then we've got a Colouring Heavens Dragon Special one. So again, it's just alcohol markers, as you can see there. So it's just alcohol markers, a little bit of chalk pastel in the background, and then I used some watercolor paint. Again, I think it was one of the little sample ones for the spade, and then the handle on the bucket, a bit of white gel pen, and that's it. I absolutely love these dragons. They're drawn by Elizabeth R. Best, and they just look so cute. I just love the look on his face. He's adorable, and I thought this was a really nice summary page to do. And again, for parts of it, I used alcohol markers that I wanted to use up, and then other bits I used my Ohuhus. I think I used my Ohuhus for the actual dragon, because I knew I wanted to make sure that he didn't end up patchy, and to make sure that didn't run out. But I think the colour that I started out with on the sand started running out here, so then I switched to a different colour. That's why that's a bit darker. But then I think actually that just kind of makes sense, because that bit's a bit closer and those are farther away. So I think I've kind of got away with covering up that issue where it ran out. I think you can just about see on the back. I think it was got to about there. But then when you look at the front, you can't really tell. So yeah, that was out of Colouring Heavens Dragon Special. Then we've got a page out of a Colouring Heaven collection one, Cats one. And we've got this one. So again, just alcohol markers. there is, I'll show you one of the other ones. There's a bit of grayscale on these images. So I literally just used one colour for the hat, one colour for the cat, for the fur. And then that kind of meant that the shading that was already there just kind of showed through. Bit of white gel pen. And then again, I used one of those little watercolour paint samples that I've got for all the little stars. And I used the same colour on the little, I guess they're nails, screws, whatever they're meant to be on the wheel there. So really pleased with how that one turned out. Really pretty picture, I think, there. And I do love cats. Then the last one we've got is from Hannah Carlson Seasons. Like I said, I've sat and I've added all my books and how many pages I've coloured into that bookshelf app. And then I've realised there's some books that I thought I'd coloured a lot more in that I really haven't. And this is one of them. So, I mean, technically it is a page finished because this is everything that you can colour on the page. But as I was doing it, I kind of, looked through all my books and then realised there was a lot I still haven't done, like the little first motifs or title pages in. So I do want to try and work on those over the next few months. So I just use some water-based markers, a little bit of gel pen, a little bit of white gel pen. That was it. That was super quick to do. It's not bled through. Because obviously this paper's pretty good. As you can see, it still need to get to the book belongs to page. So I thought I'd coloured a lot more in this one, but it turns out I haven't. So it has been worthwhile adding all my books into the app. So like I say, if you check out Jess's channel, she's got a whole video where she talks you through all the different features of the app, how she uses it, and it just made it really nice and simple to do. So I think for my trying to decide on my favourite page for the month is a bit hard. I think it might be the Fairy Tales one. So do you really love how bright and vibrant that turned out? Or I think it might be my Leon's Journey one. And kind of third one might well be my Kirby one from Fragile World, if only because I was just really pleased to actually have a page done and not be scared of tackling his artwork. So let me know in the comments down below, which is your favourite page? Do you have any of these books? Would you maybe like to do a buddy colour in the future? It'd be lovely to hear from you. Please drop me a comment down below. It's always nice to make some new friends. That's why I started doing YouTube, so I can get in touch with people. Obviously I've got lots of videos now on the channel. Like I say, I've got all my Johanna Basford, I've got Millie Marotta, Eerie, Lulu Mayo's now going out as well, and Matchstick Mouse is on there, and kind of all my completed pages from their videos. So if you've enjoyed seeing my colouring, please subscribe so that it's easier for you to look and check out all the content that I've already got out there for you. So take care everyone, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one soon.